Namaste, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining today, this morning, this practice. Let's find a seat that is comfortable and invite the palms to rest on your lap. Take a moment as you sit tall to arrive to your body, to your practice, and your breath. And if you can, notice the heavier bones in your body and let them drop, connect, expand. And invite the lighter bones in your body, like your sternum bone, the skull, to float up towards the skies and bring length in the spinal cord and space. We take a moment to, like one of my teachers says, take pulse. Notice sensations, general state you feel you are in this moment, emotions, and to slowly move inward towards the breath and the sensations as we feel the diaphragm moving down as we inhale, creating that expansion and stretching of the skin, and then the exhale, narrowing the skin and feeling the diaphragm return to its neutral position. So take a few breaths, just tuning in. And as I usually do in my classes, I want to share a short piece that I've been coming back to these past weeks of turmoil around us in the world, of challenging emotions, perhaps for some of us or all of us, sitting with the things that are arising in our country and the things that we are already going on through with this pandemic. So this is from a book that it's a philosophy book that it's from the Sikachar, one of the fathers, I'm going to say, or one of the references in yoga. And it's a book called The Heart of Yoga. And it has a portion that talks a little bit about the meaning of yoga. And like I said, sometimes when I feel like I'm a little bit perhaps not centered, or I feel like I'm in this turmoil, I need to go back to basics. So there was a piece about the meaning of yoga that really caught my eye, and I want to share it. So it says, many different interpretations of the word yoga have been handed down over the centuries. One of these is to come together, to unite. Another meaning of the word yoga is to tie the strands of the mind together. These two definitions may at first glance seem very different, but really they are speaking about the same thing. While coming together gives us a physical interpretation of the word yoga, an example of tying the strands of the mind together is the directing of our thoughts towards the yoga session before we take on an actual practice. Once those mental strands come together to form an intention, we are ready to begin the physical work. A further meaning of the word yoga is to attain what was previously unattainable. The starting point for this thought is that there is something that we are today unable to do. When we find the means for bringing that desire into action, that step is yoga. In fact, every change is yoga. For example, when we find a way to bend the body forward and touch our toes, or when we learn the meaning of the word yoga with the help of a text, or when we gain more understanding of ourselves or others through a discussion, we have reached a point where we have never been before. Each of these movements and changes is yoga. So as I think in these few definitions, unison, tying the strands of the mind together into intention and moving towards a new point, creating change, an opportunity to sit with these concepts, these ideas, and understand or reflect on the fact that yoga invites us to start where we are, to create an intention to connect, to unite the mind, usually first with our breath, and then with movement, and to take this practice as the opportunity to create change, to sit, to hold what arises, and to bring awareness to our movement, our transitions, and the way we want to move towards a new place. So let's bring our palms together, our thumbs resting in front of the heart, and bring the strands of the mind together, uniting in intention. And that intention becomes our anchor, our home, our place to come back and reset whenever is needed through the practice, to stay connected and move in awareness. If you choose to join me, we'll open with the Om sound one time, inhaling deeply through the nose, big exhale through the mouth, and then breathing in again. Then we connect the head, the hands, the heart, the three together. And whenever you feel ready, we release the palms down, lifting the head and opening the eyes. Welcome again, and thank you so much for joining me. I'm moving to the mat so we can start. And the first thing that we are going to take is 3 different versions of a child's pose. So in this one, we are coming towards the child's pose shape. Just keep your legs a little bit closer than your usual child's pose. And the first version that we are going to take is with the arms coming back and holding the feet and letting the head rest down. If you need a pillow or a blanket under the head, of course, put it there. And let's take a few moments, just 2 to 3 breaths in this version, to notice how the breath is moving into the lumbars, perhaps a little bit more. Maybe you start feeling that breath through the abdomen or the stomach pressing into the thighs. And as we lie down in this shape, bowing, an opportunity to make an offering, to dedicate your journey to whoever may come to mind, maybe more than one being, or just generally to whoever you feel the need to send your energy, your power, your yoga this morning. Then we'll slowly change this version by only moving the arms to the sides like a T letter. So we'll just send the arms out, and as we rest again in this shape, a few moments to visualize the breath moving a little bit more into the upper back, feeling the expansion wherever you feel it, and noticing any tingling or pulsing, any sensations. And then we'll add one more version before getting out of this, slowly moving the arms towards the front of your mat and stretching through the arms and feeling a little bit more of the even extension through the hands, the underarms, the armpits, all the way into the sides of your trunk, down towards your hips. And again, a moment to recognize any sensations or things going on in this shape. Take one more breath here, trying to keep that connection, mind into the breath. And then slowly lifting up, we'll bring the forearms down into the mat. If you want, you can lace your fingers or interlock them or just keep your palms down. I'm going to start moving a little bit the fire up and creating a different relationship with gravity. So I'm going to press into the forearms, inner elbows pressing down, move your knees a little further back. I have a helper. And then slowly we lift into the dolphin pose, walking the feet in, pushing the mat away. I'm starting to feel a little bit more opening in the chest as we push the chest towards the thighs, bringing the ribs in, relaxing the head and the neck. Take 3 breaths here. Changing a little bit, like I said, this relationship to gravity, to move our thoughts, to move the breath, to move the blood. And then if you feel okay here, press into your left foot, lift your right leg up, bend your right knee and open the right knee towards the left. It's not a very big movement, it's mainly groin opening, so your hips won't go too far. Just keep extending through that left leg, pushing the mat away, sending the ribs into your body and down. And then reset that right leg down. We'll switch into the left leg up, bending the left knee, moving that left knee over to the right, and trying to create a lot of pushing through the forearms, releasing the head and the neck. One more breath. Then slowly return and bringing the knees down, we come down. Beautiful, let's move from here into the hands and knees position. Shaking a little bit, we inhale, opening into the cow pose, and then exhaling, rounding into the cat. 3 more of those, inhaling, exhale, going with the breath, noticing the pulsing, the sensations. 1 more. Good, and then slowly moving the knees back, we are going to come into our first downward facing dog. Tucking the toes, we go up, pushing the mat away. Take a few moments here to set your shape. I usually like to start my first down dog with my feet wide as my mat, but that's just me, to give a little extra space. And I usually bend my knees so I can feel a little bit more of the stretch in the spine, sending the chest towards the thighs like we did in the dolphin pose. And then maybe pedaling the feet a few times, or lengthening both heels, inner, outer heels down towards the earth, drawing the ribs down towards the pelvis, sending the sacrum up towards the ceiling. The apex of your posture is your coccyx. Relax the neck. 1 more breath. And then bend the knees, gaze forward, take a big step or jump to the top of the mat. Pressing through the feet, we inhale, we come all the way up. And we exhale, coming to center. And we release. Beautiful. We are going to take 3 sun salutations. Simple, but the first one will be with your eyes open, and the second and third, we are going to try and go with our eyes closed. Creating change, creating a difference. Of course, check that you feel safe in the place where you are, and it's at your own discretion. So we start, first one, inhaling, arms up overhead. Exhaling, folding into Tadasana. Inhaling halfway, lengthening the spine. Exhaling, we move to plank pose. Lowering into Chaturanga or your neck first if you need. Inhaling, cobra pose. Exhale. Downward facing dog. Inhaling here. Exhale, lengthen. Bending the knees, lean forward, step, hop, or jump to the top. Inhaling half. Exhaling into Uttanasana. We go all the way up, Ardha Hastasana. And we come into center and release. Okay, let's go from here. Take a moment to close your eyes. Feel your body in space. Feel the energy coming from the center of your feet, from your arch up all the way. Good, and we'll go from there. If you're ready, with eyes closed, inhale. We start with Ardha Hastasana, arms up overhead. Exhaling, we fold. Inhaling, having that half lift. Exhaling to plank. Lower if you feel ready into Chaturanga. Cobra pose or up dog. Exhaling into downward facing dog. Taking one full cycle here. Then bending the knees, taking a step, hop or jump to the top of your mat. Inhaling, lengthening into Ardha Uttanasana. Exhaling, we fold. And coming all the way up. Whenever you're ready, back to Samastiti here. Take a breath when you're ready. Last one. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, down. Follow your breath. Notice sensations that perhaps arise without looking. And follow your breath to create that connection. Coming into down dog at the end. And taking a moment. Then bending the knees and making your way to the top of the mat. Ending all the way up. Finding your Samastiti one more time. And releasing the arms next to the trunk. Take a moment again to notice the breath. And then slowly opening the eyes, returning to the room we are in, perhaps recognizing or being able to see new things, changes, as we return always to our intention. We'll go from here, bringing the feet together, and we're going to take Utkatasana as we inhale, coming to the chair pose. And we're going to create some change. So a little bit of a difference today here. As I sit into Utkatasana and I open through the chest, drawing the abdomen up, I'm going to lift the heels and come onto the toes. Try to hug those inner thighs into one another, opening the chest for one more breath. Then we exhale, still the heels are up, and I'm going to fold into Uttanasana. Then pressing the heels down, inhaling halfway, exhaling back to plank. You can jump if you have the space to do that. Then coming into Chaturanga, inhaling into Cobra pose, exhaling downward facing dog. We inhale the right leg up and back, right foot comes forward, and then we lift into crescent lunge. Toning the hips in, lengthen, find space. Take a moment here to settle. With your right hand, catch your left forearm. Lengthen through the sides and bring that left side over to the right. Firm the hips. Draw the spine up. Back to center. Release. Inhale, twist to your right. Exhale, plank vinyasa all the way to down dog. You can, of course, choose to bypass the vinyasa and wait for us in down dog. Second side, inhaling, left leg goes up. Left foot comes forward, toning the inner legs. When you're ready, we lift up, crescent lunge. Good, drawing from the navel up, sacrum down, so we have the pelvis neutral. Catch your right forearm, pull, and we lean over to the left. Feel that opening. Then we come back to center, release. Inhaling, we twist to the left. Exhaling, back to plank. Lower. Find your lift. And then we go back to downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths here. And then we'll make our way to the top of the mat. Take your time. When you're ready, bend the knees, gaze forward, step, hop, or jump to the top. Inhaling, lifting halfway, shoulders back, exhale. We move all the way up into Tadasana. Good, we are going to play a little bit now with more, a little longer sequence and with a little bit of movement and balancing as well, okay? So we'll start the same as before, inhaling into Utkatasana, lift your heels, lift through the sides, try to press into the base of your toes. Uttanasana, release, inhaling halfway. Exhaling, plank chaturanga. If you want to jump, jump. I have a carpet, so it's hard for me to balance. Inhaling up. Exhaling to downward facing dog. We go from here. Inhaling, right leg goes up and back. Bring your right knee to the chest, plank pose. Push the mat, lift the knee a little higher. Re-extend right leg up and back. Bring the right foot forward. We turn the back heel in and down, and we'll take warrior 1. Take a moment to bring that left hip a little further to the front of your mat. Send the right hip back, drawing from the pelvic floor up to the chest. One more breath. Good, from here I'm going to play a little bit. I'm going to open towards the left and take a squat, pushing through my right heel. The left heel is pressing down on the floor, so it's not up in the air. So if you cannot go too far down, don't go too far down. Just stay there for a moment. Pushing through that right heel to open up through the inner leg. Then we push up. And on the left side, we take warrior 2. Big inhale and exhale. Good, now we reverse, inhaling. Exhaling, we stay. One more breath. Exhaling, we come back. Good, a little challenge here. Left hand onto your left thigh. And we are going to try and come into half moon from here. If you need the block, put the block. If you can, we press into that left foot and we start lifting into half moon. Press into the base of that left big toe. Draw the hips up. Squeeze the glutes. One more breath. Good, then slowly bring both hands down. Right leg goes up, standing splits. One more breath. Good, option here to touch down and kick up for handstands. If you have the place, the space, and you feel safe, a few kicks. Even if they don't go all the way up. Good, and then from there we go to plank, lower, inhaling cobra pose, exhaling to downward facing dog. Big breath in, big exhale. One more, let it all go. Drop the contents of your brain down to earth. Second side, left leg goes up and back, left knee to chest, push the floor, the mat, lift that knee a little higher, send the left leg up, left foot forward, right heel comes down and in, we take warrior one, settle in the shape, try and bring the hips towards the front of your mat, don't lose the power in the back foot, pressing into the outer edge. Draw the navel up. Return to the breath and the intention. Creating change by moving from one point to another point. We slowly open towards the right and we bring that right knee into a squat. Push through the left heel, lift up through the spine. You can always use the floor if you need. Good, and then we slowly come up and we take warrior two on the right side. Take a deep breath. Beautiful, from here we reverse the warrior. And we slowly come back to the challenge. Right hand onto your right thigh. You can always catch the block if you need, and make space if you need, like me, to lift up into half moon. Lifting through the inner right arch, squeezing glutes into one another, opening through the pelvis, maybe touching the floor if you need. Push through that left heel. Good. And then slowly we come into standing splits, turning the hips to face down. Beautiful. Then slowly take those left toes down. And if you want to practice a few kicks, bring that right foot a little closer and then kick up. Just a few. Or staying in the standing splits. And then back, plank pose, lower, inhaling into cobra, and all the way to down dog we go. Let's come to a child's pose and take a little break. Good. Let's take a full minute here to reset, to find your breath again. And as you rest there and come back, resetting, grounding, I want to share another little piece that I find connected to what I've been sharing before. Joseph Campbell said, "The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek." If you own the fear, you find the cave, you are able to perhaps write a new ending for yourself, for the people you are meant to serve and support, and for your culture. Choose courage over comfort. Choose whole hearts over armor. And choose the great adventure of being brave and afraid, all at the exact same time. This is by one of my favorites, Brené Brown. Choosing to be brave and afraid at the same exact time. 2 more breaths in your rest. And then we'll slowly come up towards a seat. I'm going to challenge this seat a little bit by bringing the knees together. We are going to lean over so we can tuck our toes. I'm going to spread my toes with my fingers and try to bring my inner heels towards one another as I sit back. If this is new for you, it may be really challenging. And one way that I always teach my students on how to minimize the discomfort is to put a block in between your heels and your sitting bones. It looks funny or weird, but it makes it more bearable. And it's a way to teach the soles of our feet, the backs of our legs, all the way into our lumbars, how to open and become more pliable or more flexible. So either or, take a moment here. Let the palms rest on your thighs. Relax the shoulders. And take notice, holding space for what arises. And of course, the opportunity that we always have in our practice to listen and move with intention. One more breath. Good, and then we'll slowly take those toes out, move them a little, and come onto a seat on your heels. So we change the seat a little bit. We are not staying too long. I'm going to bring my right hand behind, left hand onto the right knee, lift through the spine, try to bring the abdomen and the chest towards the right, keeping the chin off the chest. Take a breath here. And then, if your neck feels okay, chin goes to the left, staying with that chin off the chest or off the shoulder. Good, and then we return to center and we switch sides. Left hand behind, right hand to the left knee, lift through the spine, chest and abdomen moving to the left. And after your first breathing cycle, chin comes towards the right, creating an opposite twist, neck and spine. Last breath. And then we return to center. Good, keeping the same shape, I'm going to modify again. I'm going to put the right hand behind, and this time I'm going to push into the fingers so I can lift into a back bend, toning the glutes, opening the front of the spine, and then I'm sitting back down, and I'm switching sides, left hand behind, lifting, draw the sacrum down, and we come back. Don't be too attached to the form. It's mainly opening and strength here, activating the core, coming back, and one more. And release. Beautiful. Let's go from here into our downward facing dog. Back to stretching the legs, pedal the feet a few times. Good. One more breath here. Good, and then in this down dog, look at your left hand, bring it a little closer to the left upper corner of your mat, then come halfway forward into plank, roll over to the left, side plank. You can always put one knee down or one foot down for extra support, lifting through the hips and activating the glutes, opening the chest, taking that right arm over the head for extra lengthening. Sacrum moving towards your heels and the front spine moving up towards the nose. Good. If you have the space, right foot goes behind you, press it down and open up a little further back. Back to side plank, back to plank, lower chaturanga. Inhaling. Back to downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up and back. Bring the right knee to the chest. Push the mat, lift the knee a little higher. Let's go back up again. Right foot forward. And we come back up, high lunge. Good, from here we bring the arms behind alongside the torso, lifting through, sending the fingertips back, lace the fingers if you can, interlock fingers, roll the shoulders back, extend, and we go from here into warrior three. Now we are going to play here a little bit by bending the right knee, firming the hips, and then re-extending the right leg. And then again, bend the right knee just a little, firm the hips, and re-extend. One more. Bend the right knee, firm the hips, re-extend, send the arms forward. Good, let's bring right elbow and left knee towards one another. Then re-extend. Right knee towards, right elbow to left knee, and re-extend. Then we go back, high lunge. Good, hands to the heart. Twist over to the right. Firming the hips in, lifting through the chest. One more breath. Back we go, downward facing dog. Option to take your vinyasa here, coming into plank. All the way up, back again to down dog. When you return, take a deep breath in. Exhale, release it all. And we'll take the second and last side. Good. Now we are going to, in that down dog, gaze into your right hand. Move it a little closer to the right upper corner of your mat. Come halfway forward. Roll over the right side, side plank. Good. Using extra help if you need. Lift through the hips, sacrum long, opening up through the chest. Good, then left arm goes over the head, adding more opening in the side. Right shoulder blade is moving behind your chest, behind your heart. And then if you want, add the left foot behind, opening a little further into that back bend, lifting up through the heart, sacrum in. Good, then we slowly come back, side plank, back to plank, back to down dog. Inhaling, left leg goes up and back. Left knee to the chest. Push the floor, lift that knee. Re-extend, left leg up. Left foot forward. Tone the inner legs, firm the hips, and we come up. Take a moment in this high lunge to reconnect through the power of the legs. Bring that energy from the earth up. Come back to the breath. Then slowly, arms behind, interlacing fingers. Roll the shoulders, extend. And we go from here into warrior three. I need to move because I don't have space, but from there, slowly coming into balance. Extending through that left leg. Sorry, right leg. And now we are going to do 3 times, bending the left knee and re-extend that left leg. Press into the left big toe mountain, the inner heel. Bend the knee, re-extend. And one more, bend the knee and re-extend. Beautiful, then we bring the arms in front. And now we are going to match left elbow, right knee coming together and re-extend. Knee to elbow, re-extend, come back, high lunge. Hands together in front of the heart. And we come to that twist. Draw the abdomen up, the chest up to the ceiling, firm the hips in. Good, slowly returning back to downward facing dog. Optional vinyasa here, or stay in downward facing dog, waiting for the rest. Ooh, and then we'll take again another child's pose to reset. Good, we take another short minute here. Again, an opportunity to use the container of your body to hold your breath. And make of this practice an agent of change. Holding what arises to move towards right thought, right speech, right action. 2 more breaths. And then we'll slowly lift up. Good. And we are going to take a seat with the legs in front. A short transition here. I'm going to mirror you guys. So I'm going to bend right knee, bring the heel in towards the pelvis, opposite leg is extended. Good. And I'm going to try and keep that left knee pointing up towards the ceiling, pushing through the heel. Feel your sitting bones here. You can bring your hands behind like I'm doing in this moment. Roll the shoulders back, lengthen through the spine. Take a deep breath in and out. Relaxing the jaws, 1 more. Beautiful. Now I'm going to create a mini flow here with the left arm sliding inside the leg. You don't need props and you don't need it to be, again, like super fancy, okay? It's mostly opening and creating the lymphatic system to keep moving. So left arm slides, I'm opening the side. Then I'm coming back, pressing into that right hand to lift off the mat, opening the chest. And then I'm returning, side opening, coming back and lift. 1 more, side opening first, then coming back and lift. Returning, this time keeping the legs as they are. Inhale, both arms up. Beautiful, lengthen through the sides. And then you choose how far you want to go. I'm going in between the legs. You can put blocks, props of any kind, bolster, pillows, anything. Just bring your forearms down maybe or over the blocks. And we stay here for 4 breaths. Trying to settle the trunk in between the knees, grounding through the sitting bones. It's very common that your sitting bones will lift, okay? So don't fight that. Try to ground through your left femur bone and get that side to be grounded that way. And then breathe a few times here. One more breath. And then we slowly push into the floor and walk ourselves back. Beautiful. Let's switch sides. Opening that right leg out, bringing the left heel in. Sitting tall again, hands behind you. Roll the shoulders back, lift the sides. Crown of the head moving up towards the skies. Take a moment here. Notice any sensations after the first side. Good, and then pressing through the right heel, right knee pointing up to the ceiling. We'll take that short flow. Inhaling, we create that opening on the side. We come back, pressing into the hand, lifting, glutes in, sacrum long, front spine extend. We go back up, beginning of the sequence, and then we go up. Beautiful, one more. And we return. Good, and now we'll fold again over the legs, if that's okay for you, for your body today. We slowly inhale, arms up. Beautiful, so we lengthen the sides, and from there we move into the fold. Sometimes I put my palms together or interlock the fingers, and with my thumbs I'm holding my forehead so I can rest there if you don't have any props, and that may be available for you. Take a few breaths. Beautiful. If you tend to have a very rounded upper back, then it's a good idea to stay a little bit more upright and maybe even put the hands behind like I did in the beginning, or work a little bit more of those muscles in the upper back to move down your back so the chest stays open, and you almost want to feel like your collarbones, they are as wide as your mat, and even lifting or floating a little bit up. Beautiful. One more breath. Nice, and then slowly we walk back up. Good, let's bring that left foot in for a moment. Hold both feet together with your hands, or if you have a belt close by, hold the feet, roll the shoulders back. Now we all go into the extension, and we send the shoulder blades down. Feel that action in the upper back muscles, more active, a little bit more fiery, holding the back of your chest. You don't need to push your knees down. It's just that we are working the length from the groins into the inner knees. But if you need to pad, like I have a block here, and you need to put stuff under the knees, that's absolutely great, okay? So from here, shoulder blades down, lengthening from groins to inner knees. Feel the front of your spine lift. Relax the jawline, and take 3 breaths. Beautiful. Then slowly bring the knees towards one another. Good. And from here, I'm going to show you again, facing forward. We're going to lift so we can take a squat. So I'm widening my stance a little bit. You can go towards the sides of your mat with the toes pointing out, and then bring your arms in. Good. Let's take a moment here. I'm going to add another modification of these. Good. Then if you want to join me, I'm going to open the right arm out to the side and the left one up. With an inhalation, I'm opening and twisting. With the exhale, I'm bringing the left palm into the right one. And again, inhale, exhale. Again, inhale, exhale. Last one. And then I'm coming back to center. And we'll take the second side if you choose to come with me. Now it's the left arm out 4 times. We'll inhale, open, exhale. Inhale. Going at your own pace with your breath, finding that union. Last one. Coming back to center. Good. Option to take this into an arm balance if you want to go into the crow pose. We have the squat here. So I don't know you so much, all of you. If you are used to playing with arm balances and you want to come from here into that crow pose, then you hook those knees into the armpits, gazing forward, and go into the arm balance. If you are not used to this, or it's not for you, or you feel like, no, I'm done for today, it's enough, you can stay in the squat for 2 more breaths. And then we'll switch into a different sequence. Good. Then slowly we'll come onto a sit. Extend the legs for a moment and shake them a little. Good. Okay, let's bring the knees in. Draw the lower back in, opening the chest. You can start with your hands under the knees, bringing the shins parallel to the floor. Again, draw that lower back in, opening the chest. Half Navasana, arms out. Draw the belly up towards the sternum. And if you want, you can extend one leg at a time or both, trying to keep that lower back moving in, opening through the chest. Again, those collarbones are wide and lifting all the way out to the sides of your mat. And then cross one shin in front of the other. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, release. Beautiful. Let's come onto our backs, hug the knees in, and rock from side to side. Beautiful. Just a moment there to feel the lower back and reset. Good, and then put your feet down. We are coming towards the bridge pose. I'm going to also add a few changes. So today the theme is change and moving towards that cave that sometimes it's scary, but it might bring new openings, right? New aha moments. Good, so from here, the first thing that I'm going to do is keep the feet down, keep the pelvis down for a moment. Arms alongside the torso, moving those shoulder blades down your back. And keeping the pelvis flat and connected to the sticky mat. I'm just going to lift the right leg up first. Good, keep that. Feel the sensations of the hips being firm and being equal, right, or neutral. And we are going to try and keep that as we activate through the glutes and the hips moving into one another, and we try and keep the ribs moving down towards the pelvis. And then from there, we are going to lift and stay there for a breath. Press into the left inner foot. Firm those hips in, ribs down instead of popping. And then slowly return. Bring that right foot down. Feel the sensation in your pelvis. Move those shoulders away from the earlobes, and then we go to the second leg. Again, the pelvis is still grounded. I'm extending through that left leg. Firm the hips in. Draw the glutes into one another, and when you're ready, you can push the mat, lift the left side, keep the hips level. Then slowly bend the left knee, coming down and release. Good, let's take a regular bridge pose. Again, moving the arms alongside the torso. You can use your hands pushing down or grabbing your mat the way that you're used to. I like to send my heels a touch wider than my sitting bones. And once you're ready, you can also use elbows. I like this version a lot, pressing through the upper arm bones and creating those palms facing each other, and then lifting, and from there, tucking those shoulder blades in again as much as possible. Then you can go into lacing or interlocking the fingers and lifting a little higher. Okay, stay there for a moment. Try and again create connection with the inner line of your feet, lifting the inner arches like suction cups, but pressing into the inner heels and lifting the inner ankle flesh. So we don't collapse in there, and we are also moving that energy into the organs. Lift through the sacrum into the body, glutes active, lift through the hips. One more breath. Good, and then slowly release it, calm down. Stay there for a moment. Don't change anything. We still have a little bit to go. Good. Okay. Same idea, bridge pose, another modification. I'm going to put the right foot into the left thigh, like the number 4. And again, I'm going to firm the hips. Again, I'm going to create that pressure from the right shin or right foot into the thigh. And from there again, I'm opening through the chest using my hands or elbows to firm the hips, glutes in and lift up. Lace the fingers if you want or grab your mat. Extend that right knee away from your body. Draw the ribs towards your pelvis. Lift through the chest. Then slowly bring it down. Take that right foot down. Deep breath in. Exhale. Perhaps one more breath before taking the last side. Good. Make sure again you're making space in the upper back, bringing the shoulder blades in, grounding through the back of your stomach. Bring the left foot into your right thigh. Good. Firm the hips in, activate the glutes. When you feel ready, either upper arms, elbows, or hands grabbing your mat. Push and lift. Beautiful. Try to lengthen the left knee away from your body. There's a long line lifting in the underside of your body, and the front line is coming up towards your nose. Pelvic floor to navel, navel up towards the sternum, sternum up towards the very top. Beautiful. One more breath. Then slowly and interlock, the interlock, you can take it out and slowly come down. Beautiful. Put the left foot down. And before we undo this and we reset the lower back after this back bending, if you want to take now a full wheel pose and it's part of your practice and you feel like, okay, I'm ready, go there. Press into your feet, widen a little bit so you have space in between the sitting bones. And the same ideas that we use, firming the hips in, glutes active, sacrum moving into the body, hands a little bit alongside your ears, right, a little bit out. Push the mat, your palms should be grounded, and then from there go up. You can go first perhaps into your head, crown of the head, and then from there up, or just practice a little bit of that lift if you are in the process and you want to move towards that place today. Repeating a bridge pose or adding a block under the pelvis, if that is what feels appropriate, please do so. Beautiful. You keep this shape as long as it feels good and it feels like this is enough for you. When that comes to an end or the limit, slowly return. And I'll show you how we are going to reset a little bit of the lumbars. Okay. Once you come down, cross your shins like if you're going to take a cross leg position. Catch your feet. Bring the feet into your body. If you look at yourself, it looks a little bit like if you're sitting cross-legged but upside down. And just push the feet gently into your legs. And breathe into the space right behind your abdomen, expanding the pelvis into your sticky, softening the skin in the face. One more breath there. Good, and then we'll slowly switch. Put the opposite shin on top, same idea. We hold the feet again. We bring the feet in. Expand through the lumbars. Return to that fluid breath. Try to let your breath be the guide. We stay here for a couple more. Good, then slowly release that. Put your feet on the mat for a moment. If you have a belt and you like to use it, you can bring it. If it's close by, don't sweat it, it's all good. Extending the left leg, we are going to bring the right knee into the chest for a moment. Just push through your left leg, left heel, the base of your left toes, and then creating a basket with your hands and your fingers interlaced. Let the right thigh press into those hands. So my hands are right in the middle, in the thick part of the muscle, and then I'm going to extend that right leg up and letting that right sitting bone move down towards the left heel. So it's moving down towards the top of your mat and a little bit in a diagonal towards the left. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Good. This is a modification again. You don't have to do it if it doesn't feel good today. You can move the hands a little further up and then lift the chest, lift the head towards the leg coming a little closer. See if you can keep still, that left leg being active, extending. It doesn't have to go very far, just creating a little bit of a different stretch and movement. I'm still trying to bring my right sitting bone down to the end of my mat to create that length in the lumbars, then release. You can either catch your big toe with the left peace fingers or bend the right knee if you need, and we are going to bring that right leg over to the left. Left arm goes out, right arm goes out to the side or overhead, okay? So it's a little deeper of a twist here. If this feels like it's too much, just stay in the regular bent knee twist with the left hand on top, okay? One or the other. Chin can come towards the right. Take a few breaths. Take notice of the body, maybe creating like a check-in from top to bottom and try to soften. Try to let go a little bit of control if there is any area that you're controlling or holding or staying attached to. 2 more breaths on this side. Then slowly you can bend the right knee, bring that leg back to center and extend the leg. Take a deep breath in, big exhale. Beautiful, just a moment for nothing, to take notice and feel maybe one side and the other different or not. And then we'll bring the left knee in for a moment as we activate that right leg, pushing through the heel. Good. From here, we create that basket again with the interlocked fingers behind the left thigh. Push the thigh into the hands first, pressing that left sitting bone away from your chest. And then we bring the left leg up, extending through the back of the leg all the way to the heel, then the base of the toes. Give yourself a few breaths here, keeping the extension in the right leg. Good. Then option slowly to walk the hands a little higher if you choose to. And bring the chest a little closer to the leg a little closer to you. Go to the place that feels enough and appropriate. We are coming towards the end, so slowly winding down. Then gently let go, coming down. Beautiful. Stay there for a moment. Choose if you want to use these fingers into the big toe or bend the knee in and you bring that left leg over to the right. Twists should feel good, but they create a gentle compression in your lower back. So if your lower back is affected or sensitive or you have this stuff going on, then those twists should be gentle, okay? We don't push them hard. The opposite arm can go up over the head or to the side if you prefer. Drop the back of your skull. Find the rest. Last cycle. And then slowly making your way back. Beautiful. If you have the practice and you feel steady and confident to take a shoulder stand, sometimes at the end of practice, we do shoulder stand, which is a cooling inversion and a nice way to end the practice. Lately, because we are teaching from home and there's less of a chance to see and help, I usually offer a few other options. One is to put your legs up a wall or a dresser or some kind of furniture. If you have that at home, it's very restorative and replenishing, and it has the same benefits of a shoulder stand, so you could do that. Or if there's no wall available, a block under the pelvis, the legs up towards the ceiling. We call that Viparita Karani, but without the wall. So you can put that block and support your pelvis with the block. If you are taking the full shoulder stand, make sure that you're bringing the elbows as far in as you can to elongate the spine and bring the thoracic towards your chin or towards the front of your body so you create more verticality, okay? Make sure you take several breaths there, wherever it is that you're choosing to be. May heal that lower back, it's a little rounded. So what I would do is to try and bring the hands a little further down your back. So it's like if you want to move them to your neck instead of up. Yes, exactly, very nice. And then try to lift through the hips and send the inner thighs towards, I'm going to say, away from your head. Inner thighs away from your head, a little more vertical. Up, up, up to the ceiling. Beautiful, much nicer. Lengthen the sacrum up. You should feel opening in the chest. And then slowly make your way down when you feel you're ready. If you are one of those who is taking legs up the wall and you want to stay there for the end, please do. Some of you are doing a headstand. Take it easy. Come down whenever you're ready, okay? Good. Legs up the wall. If the wall is there for you or dresser or whatever it is that you're choosing to use as, can be a nice way to end the practice instead of the supine shavasana. If you're coming down and taking slowly your mat again, pick any props. Lately, I've been liking this option. I'm going to show it before coming towards the front again. To use a bolster or a pillow that I'm putting not right under my thighs only, but setting my sacrum. So I'm sitting on top first, then I'm coming onto that supine, and then I'm pushing my pillow a little further down. So the sacrum is supported and the very tops of the thighs are elevated and my legs are wide to the sides, and then the arms come to rest. This shape may feel also really good with some extra support under the head, like a blanket or a very thin pillow if you have something like that, okay? So we made it to Shavasana, the corpse pose. the opportunity to let go of control, come back to the source, silence, stillness, release. As we arrive to this rest, we let the back of the skull release, the shoulder blades spread, the legs become heavy, the feet and the toes drop and become spacious. Let the sacrum move down with gravity and your jaws and tongue release. There's a soft and even flow in your breath. And we let the benefits, the jewel of this practice be integrated in our bodies, our minds, heart, and soul.